in a company here in Australia with a necessary, but actually with a global market. So it is called Whisper, which stands for Wireless Smart Probe, and I'll tell you why, how it happened. In 2012, I was finalist for this development for the Australian Innovator of the Year award, and the turn it on if you want to hear. So, what is it? It's actually a device that instantly recognizes an acoustic signature. So we're going to pass this device to have a look at it to pass it through. So this is the technology that has a smart device in it that identifies a specific acoustic signature and send the message when the specific signature is identified. The main application for it is in environmental monitoring, basically listening to the environment for anything that is out of the normal. And the first application that we found that we started the company around is to identify the sound of an environmental hazard, which is termites. Termites are an environmental hazard to not only Australians but around the world, and we've identified that through a student's project back in 2008, where we were looking for another borer, it's called a European house borer, that caused hundreds of millions of damage in many countries, and it was here also in Australia. So we had a final engineer student who worked on it with the Department of Agriculture here in Perth, and we ended up with this first development that eventually became this that you are looking at now. So the idea is to replace the chemical that is used around houses. If you live in a house, you have to every 2 years pour in the ground around 400 plus 500 liters of chemical to protect the house from termite attack. So what we do with this technology, we place those in the ground and around the house at a distance of 2 or 3 meters, and this device is continuously listening to the specific acoustic signature. And as soon as it detects it, it sends a message through the internet to someone who will come and put 25 milliliters of water instead of 400 milliliters. So the environmental solution is much more advantageous than the current solution. That's a map of the termite hazards in Australia alone. So as you can see, most of the country where people live, there are a huge threat of termites. Let's talk about that. And Hobart doesn't have any, New Zealand has none, but there are a huge market in the US, in Japan. They're spending billions of dollars. And the annual damage cost for Australia alone every year is $3 billion. In the US, it's $12 billion. And every year there is about 30,000 new attacks in Australia alone. While this is actually the damage caused by termites is much higher than fire and flood and storms alone. That's why insurance companies don't insure the termites, because you have to live with it. So it's a huge economical threat. We also identified that also it's a huge threat for bridges, power poles, a number of infrastructure where you have timber in them and a certain cost attached to it. So what we have, the solution attaches also to power poles, and it could be battery operated, left there for some time, and when someone like that is driving across the bridge, you can communicate with the device. Those devices are wireless and communicate wirelessly through hundreds of meters. So someone driving on the bridge can communicate and extract from this information about the hazard or the risk. In Katrina, for those who remember, in 2005, the floods in New Orleans cost the life of many people and was very, very expensive. And the journals proved that the bridges were actually, 70% of them that have been attacked or affected by termites, and they didn't know about it at the time. And when the flood arrived, the whole jetties sealed. So we are working on that with a number of organizations here in Australia, where we can actually manage that by remotely monitoring bridges from stations located in Perth, again with remote monitoring of hazards that could be located on a map, and someone will be sent to this place to do something about it, rather than waiting for the accident to happen and then trying to fix the cost of repair. I will skip this one, or this is just a video showing how termites operate on a bridge, but I can show you that later. I think you know what it is. So we can place those devices as patches on timber structure. That could be bridges or poles. Actually, I was in the last couple of years in discussion with Postal Power about that, so to do some monitoring of termites on poles, plus a number of other things actually, to condition monitoring of power poles. The interesting thing is that from this you have an immediate warning when the hazard arrives, not a month or weeks later when it happens, when it's too late. So you do it before any damage occurs. That saves a huge amount of money to companies. Also, the device could be placed in the ground the same way as it is placed outside houses, and we'll be monitoring a piece of timber, because termites in most of the world are subterranean. So when they come, they start chewing on this device, detect on the timber, and the device detects the sound, and it will send immediately a message to come and do something about the device that is located at this XYZ GPS position device. Also, we developed in the same token a handheld device that can allow technicians to check the pieces of timber. So it could be a house, or it could be a pole, or it could be a bridge, as a maintenance operation. Also, as a variation of this development, a couple of years ago, a large oil and gas company, I think it's a global oil and gas company, wanted to monitor the Gorgon project. Everyone is aware of the Gorgon project, $60 billion worth on an island that is pristine, and that the company wanted to monitor that nothing wrong happens on this island. No alien species come on the island. So they are actually spending millions of dollars to protect the island, to keep it biosecurity. So we have developed an acoustic device, which is what you see here. The reason of the size is because it will be placed on Barrow Island. Barrow Island is an island north of Western Australian coast, and it's very, very harsh weather. So we have to develop a device that is very sturdy and very rough. This is the microphone here, and this device is powered either by the battery. There's a big battery inside, and it is monitoring this pest, in fact, which is an Asian house gecko that comes from Asia and comes to the north of Australia and then spreads across the country. And that is a threat for the eco balance, the environmental balance of the island. And this company cannot afford to do that. Otherwise, if they don't protect the island from this species and a number of other species, the license from the government to exploit the gas will be withdrawn, or they would have to pay a very, very hefty fine. So now we have about 300 of those devices deployed between the island, also on some sites in Asia, where a lot of equipment is coming from Asia, and also on ships between Asia and the mainland. So the idea is now that this company is continuously monitoring those different sites for these species. So the device is only identifying the sound of the Asian house gecko and nothing else. So the algorithm is expecting this sound from everything that is listening to. And as soon as it identifies the sound, it sends a message with this position, and they can do something about it. So that's the biosecurity application. It's called EARS, which stands for Environmental Acoustic Recording System. Right, I think that was the 15 minutes. I wanted to say a few things about that. The potential of this project is going into also other applications. We are talking also on military applications and agriculture applications in the very near future for the same type of device. Not only acoustic, but the wireless sensor network. And we all know about the Internet of Things. This is one of the elements of the Internet of Things that is becoming more and more developed in the world. Okay, thank you very much. Let's return to the networking session.
Thanks, Adam, for that lovely presentation. Anyone has any questions?
How do you power the devices in your house?
So the question is how power those small devices. Well, they are battery powered. So the battery has a lifetime of about 6 to 12 months, assuming that we don't necessarily need to listen 24/7. Because when you're listening to termites, we know they are active from 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're active when it is moist, and the conditions are convenient for them, and you don't necessarily need to listen all the time. So we listen a few seconds in the hour, and because they are actually very, how do you call that? They keep feeding. That's good because we can listen anytime. We will find out later. So the battery life has been optimized. Also the algorithm has been optimized for low power. Also the choice of the components were also for low power. Worst case, we know that these devices can be operated like, everyone has reticulation around the house. You can power it if you want by just going around the house. But the best idea is to keep them independent and powered by battery. They could also be powered by solar. There's an option for that as well.
Once the thank you. So once the batteries run out, thinking of product on the life cycle of the device, is it disposable? Do people actually bother taking the batteries, or is it just cheaper to just dispose of them and install a new one?
Okay, the idea is, well, the question is how, when the battery runs out, what to do with the device. Do you dispose of it or do you replace the battery? There are all options are possible. It is also in some cases cheaper to just replace the whole device, but the batteries are replaceable in this case here. The thing is that in every 6 months to 12 months, you want to come around and clean the area where, so as a user, you have a contract with the company who placed them and who maintain them and put the chemicals. These guys every 6 months, instead of coming every month or every 2 months to put chemicals in your house, they can come every 6 months or every year, just check the batteries, replace the batteries, clean the area, put them back. So that's the idea behind that. Or, worst case, we have some situations where one of the commercial partners we're working with, there's a lid into a box where the device is sitting inside. So they replace the lid, put another lid, and go around. Any other question?
Have you installed any test devices out in WA or anywhere in Australia? And what sort of results have you received?
Okay, the technology has been proven with the Department of Agriculture, where we started working with. So their labs have tested the technology for the purpose of another species which is very similar to termites, and they have been improving actually the technology and given us feedback across almost a year. And then we use the devices at a number of sites in WA, indoor. You can also use them indoor on some of the structure of building, or outdoor. So and also the technology with the Asian house gecko has been proven with the website, the server, and even an application on an Android application. So we've been testing it regularly. We have detected some areas where there were termites, and from our areas where there are no termites, also the device has detected nothing. So we have had some false positive, but very little termites.
Since it works on acoustic technology, if it's out in the forest or in the open area, we have external sounds. How does it pick the sound?
Well, good question. In fact, if the device is outside in the forest, I would leave the termites do their job. They've been doing it for millions of years. Now we want them to recycle the old timber that is out there. We don't want them to recycle our houses or the structures. So that's the only difference. So we want them to protect them around the house where there is. They're usually active in the evening, and the device is listening in the ground. So there are not much other sounds coming from the ground other than termites. If there is another sound that is similar to termites coming from the ground, that's also dangerous. So we want to also care for it as well. So we know that if there are other sounds, the algorithm itself is very selective. It's quite complex that we have been modifying it a number of times. It does discriminate any other sounds, so FFT and time domain, frequency domain, and other number of things to identify the sound of termites or other volumes from anything else. Almost.
Any questions? Any other questions? Right, thanks for that. I'd like to call up on Rob to give Adam a gift as a token of appreciation. Thank you, Adam. So let's see. Okay. Now we have Rob is going to make a few announcements on behalf of the IET. The IET's challenges and applications for the project.
Thanks, mate. So, yeah, I guess firstly, just thanks everyone for coming. For those of you that don't know, I'm the current joint chairperson of the IET WA Professionals Committee. The main thing I probably want to talk about is that on the 30th of October, so in a week or two, we've got our annual general meeting. So we're actively looking for people that want to join our committee and help us, organise events like this. So last week, some of you might have been at the Present Around the World competition that we hold every year. The winner from that will go on to fly to Melbourne next year to compete against other different states. And in fact, the winner that we had last year going in November to London because she won the national competition as well as the Asian Pacific competition. So there's a lot of opportunities in the committee to kind of step up and have a lot of fun, organise some really meaningful events. Cool. So if any of you are interested, let me know and I'll give you the details. That's about it. So other than that, thank you again for coming and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, Rob. Next, I'd like to invite Tim Wong, who the MGA for Young Engineers Chair. Tim has been involved with the IEEE for 9 years, just under a decade. A very active volunteer, and he's worked his way up through the ranks, starting off as a volunteer with the student branch. Tim currently Tim is responsible for the Young Engineers, operations of the Young Engineers division across the world. I've let Tim to sort of talking, so please join me in welcoming Tim.
Thanks, Mo. I hadn't actually prepared anything for tonight. We just decided 10 seconds ago I'd come up and speak to you. But look, I appreciate you all coming down tonight. I think it's great to be able to meet the professional community of engineers, of scientists. It's great to have Alan along, and fantastic that we have IET along to co-host this event. And just as a bit of self-disclosure, I'm a member of all three of the organisations: Engineers Australia, the IET, and the IEEE. For me, I actually started as a student branch leader at the University of Western Australia, and I went into the role not really knowing where to lead to, and I sort of just thought after the end of the year, that'll be the end of my term in Australia, move on, get a job, get married, happily ever after, you know, those fairy tale books. So my experience in IEEE has been nothing short of amazing. I enjoy meeting people, I enjoy travelling, I enjoy networking, whether it be on the bus, in the laundromat, I've got a few stories about that, on the plane, and in my current role, I look after the global IEEE graduates of the last decade group, which is comprised of over 60,000 members globally. We're actually now trashing the name gold and actually branding to young professionals. So in the next year or so, you should expect to see some exciting new marketing materials and events and services for our members. I'd also like to take the opportunity tonight to thank Noel. Noel's been a fantastic help in organising this event. In fact, he did a lot of the running around with organising the venue, organising the food, liaising with the IET. I think IET and IEEE are fantastic organisations. I'd like to thank Bob for presenting tonight as well, and for supporting this event, and we look forward to meeting you all and hope to see you at the future events. Thanks.
Thanks for that, Tim. Just to give you an idea, we have the Young Engineers Division of the IEEE here based in Perth, and we do organize events, mainly around networking events, a few technical events, workshops, opportunities for you to meet other like-minded engineers. The next event that we have planned, or that we intend to have, is the AGM, which will be around next month, more like towards the end of next month. We are also looking for volunteers. If there's anyone interested, come and have a chat with us. We're quite keen to take on passionate people. We're quite willing to spend their time and give back to the community, and also enjoy the experience and build some good contacts and skills as well. Yeah, the section AGM is on the 20th of November. If anyone is interested in attending the section AGM, then you can meet a lot of people from the section. Before I wind up, I just want to make sure everyone's the name down in the attendance sheet. Is that right? Okay, that's cool. And have you guys put your name down in the people got what I was trying to say. You're gonna have a lucky dip now. Your name down the road there. And then I can get added people with the lucky dip winners.
Taking photos?